like to welcome you back to Tales of Maj'Eyal. Specifically, my first roguelike run of it. Well, technically I've played the game on roguelike before, but this is the first time recording it, and you already know that. You're smart, aren't you? Aren't you? Anyway, bit of a mistake happened. I moved down one space between recording, but that won't really matter much. I took the liberty to change around the order of my icons, as you can, hold on. There we go. As you can see, as you can see here, this is just the way I like to order them. We will get into what those mean right now, because what better time than when an elven guard and a giant white ant are just staring you down, but you're just like, hold on, I gotta get my bearings. So let's go over a few things. For one, you'll notice we have stat bars of some type. I'd like to explain them, because they're important. This is our XP meter, showing how close we are to the next level. As you can see, we are currently level 1. Shows our name, our money, and a little picture list. Because, why look at that when you can look at that? Yeah. Underneath all of that, we have the health bar, which is this big red one. Pretty obvious. Tells you your health. It also tells you how much you regenerate every turn. Tales of Maj'Eyal, like most games, is a turn-based, tile-based sort of game. As you can see, every single thing is in its own little square. And that's how you can determine distance and such. Below your health, if you're a warrior or some other type of melee guy, or girl, or whatever, it doesn't matter, melee anything. You got your stamina bar, which isn't updating the bottom right, okay, which lets you do things without getting tired. Makes sense, right? You got no stamina, you can't do anything. It's just this. It is logical. That's the important part. Down along here, with the thing I have ordered, are all of our skills. All of them. I mean, yeah, we can dig, but I put that over there, and that's not important right now. We have all of the skills. And just clicking on these icons will initiate said skill. For instance, if I wanted to quickly regenerate, I would use this regenerate ability. Now, we already regenerate a bit of health on our own, just because that's the way it is. But we have a special infusion, which we'll get into once we pick one up, that makes us regenerate faster for a short amount of time. Makes sense, somewhat, but yeah. To the left of that, we have Shield Wall, which, if you remember, we leveled up in the last, at the end of the last video. Shield Wall, well, if you trigger regeneration, it'll give you the ability, and you'll regenerate for a bit, and then it goes away. Shield Wall is different. Shield Wall, as it says, use mode, sustained. You permanently spend a certain portion of one of your bars, and in exchange, you get its benefit forever, unless you're knocked out of it or weirdness happens. So let's trigger that. Now you'll notice everything moved, because Shield Wall has a usage time of 1 turn, meaning 1 turn goes by every time you initiate it. Makes sense. Now we also have block, which lets us block an attack and do counter attacks and just cool stuff like that, but it's not a cooldown. Because that's just the way it is, meaning we can't use it for another 3 turns. We also have Shield Pummel, which is a melee ability, not just a regular attack, but an ability that does extra damage and other special things. We have Wild, which gets rid of debuffs, and since we are a Thalor, we have Wrath of the Woods, which makes our attacks better. No? Yes, it makes our attacks better and our defense better. It's just all around good. Now what I'm gonna do is, well, they're enemies. We want to beat them, or else they'll kill us, and that won't be good. It'd be a very short game. Now I can move using the arrow keys, or by clicking an empty space. As you can see, I moved off of that sign and stepped back a tile. By clicking on myself, I can wait in place, allowing my enemies to close towards me while I remain in my safe, readied position. Wait one more turn, and the enemy is upon us. In order to fight, well, you just click on him. This ant has 12 health. We click once, and as the combat log says, we hit the giant white ant for 21 physical damage, killing it in 1 blow. Pretty simple. I mean, it's a giant ant. Every adventurer's gotta kill one of those at one point or another. But now we have a much, well, yes, this is a more difficult opponent. You'll notice he's level 3 and has 93 health. But he still shouldn't be a problem. Because we're an adventurer, right? Right. Why isn't it? There we go. So we take down that elf pretty easily. You can read the combat log to get a better idea of the exact amount of damage you're doing and taking. I usually don't pay attention to that very often, but it's there if you really want to, like, pay attention to the numbers. Now this sign had something written on it, but I accidentally moved on to it. You can pause the video if you want to read it, but this is what was on that sign. Moving on. Now we are in the Infinite Dungeon. We can do anything. Wander around, kill monsters, get loot, and eventually die a horrible, gruesome death. What isn't there to love? So, let's begin. Now, I said I would explain some things in more detail. This is a gray mold. Just stationary enemy. Found a bit of loot, armor. We can't wear it because we don't have the right skill. But really, now that I think about it, really, I can't say much. Shield Bash does extra damage and hits twice, and block lets us counter. I already described what Shield Wall did. It makes us have better defense and armor. Armor means we take less damage when we're hit. Defense means we're harder to hit. Now, we found our first magical enemy, an elven mage, who likes to sling spells at us and hurt us very badly. Because remember, we're a melee guy. We didn't build for defending against magic. We built for defending against, like, swords. He missed us in his melee attack as we approached. So we have to remember, if you approach them first, they get a free attack on you. But the opposite is also true. you get a free attack on them if they approach you. Of course, if they have ranged abilities like magic, they tend not to get close. Now you'll notice the screen just went red. Or redder. That's because we are below half health. Or somewhere around there. We have initiated our vitality because that's an automatic passive ability. But at the same time we're bleeding because of an ability he used on us. Now he only has 16 health, which means we could kill him quite easily, just like... Oh. He apparently lived enough to... Whatever, let's just kill him. Boom. Dead. We win the day. And we continue along our adventure. If things got really bad, I would have run away, initiated regeneration, and just waited him out. Now, there are two methods of travel, besides just moving normal. Well, one method besides moving normally. You can move with the arrow keys, you can move with the mouse, or, if there are no enemies nearby, you can fast travel. Now, I'm only going to do this once, because it might be weird with the recording, but I'm going to fast travel once to give you an idea of how it works. You hit the fast travel button, you rest, and then you run around and explore, automatically. Hold on. Sorry about that, I am back now though. Then we find a cut purse, who is a thief-type enemy. You'll notice he has some keywords. I'm honestly not sure what those mean, but he is regenerating, which means our attacks won't really do much. So instead of fight, I will block. He attacked me, and because of the ability I had going block, he now is vulnerable to a counterattack. Now I could just attack him regularly and do my regular amount of damage, or I can use my shield pummel and do insane amounts of damage for a level 1. Of course, you have to realize sometimes the game doesn't cooperate and loves to just be all like, ha ha ha, you don't get your insane damage. But it's just like every other encounter we've had so far. We fight him, we kill him, we win. That was a door. I think. Probably. But this is the game. This is Tales of Maj'Eyal when going through the infinite dungeon. You just fight, and you fight, and you fight, and you find cats, and you kill cats. Because, I don't know. Skeletons and... Oh, so I wouldn't do that. Fast travel, and you run around, and you kill things. And it's fun for the whole family. Unless they're really against violence. Then it's probably not fun. But I don't know, your family? You might not be, you might, but who knows? You do, I don't. And let's keep it that way. I think that'd be best for all parties involved. I really need to work on my comedy, but there's plenty of time for that later. We've encountered something a fair bit bigger than what we're used to, however. As said earlier, I'm gonna limit this to 15-minute recordings. However, I think I'm gonna record in bigger chunks and then split them up afterwards. So once the 15-minute mark is hit, I'm going to cut it. So for now, you know what, I think I'll cut it out, yeah. I am the cartographer. Thank you for joining me for the continuation of this game. See you in the next video.